Today we're going to discuss the 3 keys to starting and running a successful copywriting business. And of course, starting any business has many steps, but these are the fundamentals, the ones that form the foundation. And these are the first things you want to master before you go on to open, to set up your shingle and start taking clients. So the first one.
You let me know here. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah. So the first one, very simple, is you're going to be a copywriter. You have to learn copywriting, or you have to be able to write copy. And how good are you? In today's market, you have to be good enough to satisfy what we would call at least copper and silver clients. I have a rating system where I go from the low to the high, the least desirable and therefore the least demanding clients and least sophisticated in terms of copy are copper clients. Example, your corner gas station, your local Chevy dealer. Silver are companies that are somewhat better. There might be in town a 10-person CPA firm, a multi-location retina specialist medical practice, and so they're better. They're silver. They have more money, than the coppers. But why I only rate them as silver is they're not sophisticated about marketing, and they're not. These businesses are not copy driven, and therefore they don't fully appreciate what we do, and therefore are not willing to pay the premium price that at some point you're going to want to charge. Above that, we have copper and silver. We have gold, which are really good clients, and the diamonds, which, for me, have been IBM, AT&T, the Fortune 500 and major direct response players. They're not a client of mine, but Google would be a diamond. So they're very demanding. These big direct marketers, big corporations, and they can pick and choose their choice of copywriters. So to start off with, you have to, before you can work for them, you have to be good enough that you can take on a copper client or a silver client, do the work, and they're going to say, yeah, I'm happy, and pay you. So that's step one. So you have to build your skill. Step two is when you launch your freelance copywriting business, and I believe that this is true with almost any service business, you organize your day, your time, according to the 25, 50, 25 formula. What it means is this. Of your day, 50% of your time is spent on doing billable work for clients. In your case, copywriting clients. If I was starting off as a psychotherapist, they'd be patients. And you might think it's odd that I say only half your time is spent on billable client work, but that's what it is to be self-employed. No one spends all their time just doing billable work. There's other parts to running a business, and as a solo copywriter or solopreneur, you have to do that. So, but you look to have at least 50 to 60% of your time when you're a beginner on billable client work. Now, to get those clients, you have to. That's the first of the 225s. You have to spend, when you're starting out, at least 25% of your time selling, promoting yourself, marketing yourself, talking to potential clients, generating leads, giving price estimates, writing quotes, issuing agreements, and getting them signed, and collecting your retainer. And you should usually, on most jobs, get a retainer equal to half the fee up front. But 25% is doing the selling of your services. when you're a novice or starting out, it's more than 25%. It could be 30%, 40%. If you don't have any clients, it could be 50%. And as you gain experience and gain a client base, it'll be less than 25%. So the more experience you get, the less time you have to spend on marketing, and the more time you can spend on billable work. So it may go from 50 to 55 to 60, all the way to 65 or close to 70%. No one has, that I know, in any business, has 100% billable time. So you have to have 50% of your time on billable clients if you can. That's the goal when you're beginning. 25% or more on getting those clients, and then 25% on the third thing of your business, which is what we call administrivia. Every business, especially for a self-employed person, has a whole bunch of detailed, niggling, administrative type of functions that you have to do. For example, I was asked to give a talk at a conference, which would pay me, and then immediately that's billable. But then they sent me an email with like 9 attachments with all this paperwork to fill out. To do that, they don't pay you to fill the paperwork out. So that is what I call by administrative work. Now, administrivia is the administration of your business. That includes, for example, keeping your books, keeping your files organized, paying your quarterly taxes, making sure you have the proper insurance, making sure you have the proper corporate structure. And of course, you can get help with these things, but you still have to be involved in them. And administrivia also includes education. In every field, you're always going to be learning. There's an old expression: the school is never out for the pro. So you are going to get set for a lifetime of learning. Now, at the beginning, you're going to be absorbing information at a frantic rate. Once you're more experienced, you will have to spend less time cribbing or studying, but you're not going to be able to stop. If you stop and say, well, I know everything there is to know, and you don't go any further, you're going to wither and die. There's always new stuff to learn. You can see this, how rapidly the pace of marketing in general and marketing technology and channels in particular, search engine optimization, social media, video sales letters, is changing. So you have to keep up. So you'll be, when you start, you're going to have to arrange your schedule 50, 20, 20, 25, 25. Half on billable work, a quarter on marketing yourself, and a quarter on administration and self-education. Then the third thing that you need to get started, it seems very simple. And it is very simple. It's the 3 R's. What are the 3 R's? Well, Stephen King has said the only way to learn writing is to read and to write. So even though the word writing begins with a W, the 3 R's in school are reading, writing, and arithmetic. So you to continually improve as a writer, and if you're not continually improving, you'll be left behind. No one 10 years from now is going to want to hire the 2020 you. They want to hire the 2030 you, who knows a lot more and has a lot more experience. Novelist Annie Proulx said, reading is the finest teacher of how to write. So as a writer, you're going to do these things. You will write every day. I write every day without exception, including Saturdays and Sundays, even if I'm not having a full day, working day of work on the weekend. And I don't, by the way. I happen to get up early because I'm just an early riser. And I always spend the first hour of the day before everyone else is up doing some kind of writing. It may not be copywriting. I might want a lighter, easier task on the weekend, so I may be writing one of my books or one of my newsletters or one of my emails or one of my articles. But you have to write every day. You should be constantly reading. And the biggest mistake I see writers and entrepreneurs make is they say, I only read business books. That's really an error. What should you read? Everything. History, science, religion, yes, business books, fiction. I'm always wary of someone who says, well, I only read nonfiction. I never read fiction. Well, if you're a copywriter, that's not good, because every type of writing you learn, you pick up techniques. You might pick up something in a novel. Reading a novel, one little turn of phrase, and you say, I like that, and you add it to your repertoire. Or if you're reading a history book, you find a fascinating fact that you didn't know that you're going to be able to use in a promotion later on. So you have to gather this wealth of general knowledge, not specific to an assignment. That comes later, but just you have to build a bank of knowledge that is sort of vast. So you need reading teaches you, gives you information, and it actually teaches you to read other writers' writing, how to write. And the third R, which may surprise you, is arithmetic. Now, there's no real complicated mathematics or at all involved in being a copywriter. I hire other people to do my bookkeeping and prepare my tax returns, so I don't get involved in any of that. But if the client says, can we make money on this direct mail package if we get a 2% response? Do you know how to answer them? There's a formula, it's very simple arithmetic that'll tell you, well, if we get 2% response, and it depends on, primarily on the cost of goods, the sale price of the product that you're selling, the percent returns, which are small but do happen. So you have to know how to calculate simple things. And it is really baby arithmetic, but every good marketer has some facility with simple numbers. You can look at an analytics report and you interpret that. You have to figure out, some client says, I want to sell $1,000 a day of this product, and they're doing it online. Well, whether you're going to do that or not depends on your open rates for your emails. Not every email you send gets open. Depends on your click-through rates, how many people who open that email click and go to your sales page, and conversion rates, how many people who end up on the sales page buy the product. So you have to be good enough. You have to get good enough to satisfy medium and low demanding clients. Real companies have a real need. They're real clients, but they're not the most sophisticated. I eat a lot at diners, so I'm easy to please versus Emeril Lagasse probably eats at fine restaurants every night, so he has a more refined palate. So your initial clients don't have a refined palate, but you have to at least satisfy the beginners and the intermediates. The third is you have to manage your time with 25, 50, 25. The second one, 25, 50, 25. And the third one is you got to read a lot. I read every day. You have to write a lot. I write every day. And you have to master the simple arithmetic of analytics, web metrics, and direct mail response rates and things of that nature. That's to start. And once you're good enough a copywriter to handle, the lower end of the market. Once you know how to organize your day, once you know how to get better with the 3 R's, then you're on your way. You're launching, and you're ready to go to the next step.